Good afternoon, everybody. Luis Morales here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. It's 2:30 p.m. on a Thursday, gloomy one here in Northern California, which means it's time to break away from the desk a little bit, just move around, show our bodies some love. Speaking of, before we get started, if there's anything you guys feel needs a little bit of extra love or a little bit extra stretching, go ahead and drop it in the chat and we can definitely work it into the routine for today. If you were with us earlier with Exercise with Exos, we were doing all sorts of stuff. We were moving side to side, front and back, doing a lot of stuff around the hips, using a lot of muscles around the hips. So that's kind of what I want to focus on today. I'm not seeing anything in the chat, so let's go ahead and get it started. And what we're going to do today is reside mostly on the ground. So make sure you guys can see me down here. What we're going to start out in today is hands in these positions. It's just going to be kind of our base here. And in order to stretch out the back of our hips, which we were using a lot earlier, namely the glutes, what we're going to do is a position widely known as the pigeon pose. So if you're familiar with yoga, you're probably already familiar with this one. What I'm going to do is slide one leg back. So my right leg is sliding back. I'm going to turn my hip, my left hip here, so that my shin perpendicular to the rest of my body. And now what you can do is kind of sink back into that back leg, try and bring the hips a little closer to the ground. You can stay up here on the hands if you'd like, or sink down to the elbows if you want a little bit of a deeper stretch. Once you find some medium tension, you should be feeling this all throughout that left hip if you got the left leg in front. Once we find that medium tension, just focus on your breath. Slowly letting the belly expand. A nice long exhale, feeling the belly contract a little bit. You want to make sure this is something comfortable and sustainable, not something that is, 8 or 9 out of 10 on the intensity scale for you personally. All right, you guys, one more breath here in this position. All right, slowly we can come out of that by coming up onto our hands where we weren't already, bringing those hips up away from the ground, letting that left leg turn a little bit, hip in the socket. We'll bring the right leg up. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to let my left leg slide way back, turn that right leg until I can get my shin close to kind of perpendicular. And then I'm going to sink my hips back towards the ground, settle into the position, whether it's on the hands or on the elbows. And once you find that medium stretch, focus on that breathing. Good job, you guys. Sink back into that hip. Probably feeling a lot of tension. We want to make sure it's not too intense. The most medium intensity we have is probably the most effective when it comes to static stretches like this. All right, guys, one more deep breath. Let that stomach expand. And then slowly let all that air out. Nicely done, you guys. All right, let's slowly rise up out of that position. We can come back to our base, hands and knees now. From here, we can do child's pose. So another yoga favorite, widen those knees out a little bit wider than hip width. Sink those hips back and simultaneously walk those hands forward up overhead. If you were with us earlier for Exercise with Exos, this is part of our cool down. Take a couple breaths, but don't get too comfortable here, guys, because I want to start out with the regular child's pose, and then we'll move into a little bit more of a side stretch. So one more breath. All right, beautiful. Let's rise up out of that position just for a moment, keeping everyone moving here. What we're going to do next is walk those hands way out to one side. So I'm starting with my left side. I'm walking the hands way out. And then as I sink my hips back, I can pull my hands kind of into a comfortable position. But my body is mostly over my left leg. My right side is being pulled wide open. And as we start to breathe deeply, you'll notice expanding the rib cage. We can force all those muscles on the side of our body to lengthen out and relax if they were tight. Hopefully we're feeling this stretch kind of in the armpit area, maybe in the side lower back area. Either way, let's keep up that deep breathing. One more breath. All right, on that exhale, let's slowly rise up and out of that position. We're gonna keep our knees where they're at, walk those hands all the way out to the other side, and now we can do this side as well. So sinking the hips back to the heels, finding a comfortable position, making sure those hands are not too far away, but enough so that we have some tension in the left side of our bodies now. As we breathe, think about that rib cage expanding like a big balloon, helping us to lengthen out muscles under the arm, muscles over the side of that rib cage, muscles in the lower back maybe. Good job, you guys. One more big breath. Good. After that exhale, let's slowly rise. Put some more weight into those hands. We can walk those hands back to the middle. Pull those knees under us. Nicely done, everybody. Nicely done. Okay. Still got time for one more thing. So let's go ahead and put our tails on the ground here and find that amazing shin box position that I know everybody loves. And what we're going to do today is something slightly new with the shin box. So if you're unfamiliar, what it'll look like is this. I'm starting with my left leg in front. Knee and ankle are both on the ground. Right leg is out to the side. Lots of 90-degree angles here. Knee and ankle are also both on the ground. So a little bit of a switch up from what we usually do from the shin box position. What we're going to do here today is working on opening up this side leg from the position that we're in now. When I say opening up, we're going to externally rotate. And what that is going to look like, leg in front is going to stay static. Leg on the side, we're going to keep that foot on the ground, try and raise that knee up as high as we comfortably can while staying nice and square to this front leg. And so it's okay if you don't even have a lot of range here. What we're going to do is just try this out, trying to stay up nice and tall and trying to stay looking forward here. It's going to help us loosen up our hips a little bit. It's undoing a lot of that kind of static seated in the desk chair that we do all day at our computers. Hopefully, and this is feeling good for the hip itself. Good job, you guys. That foot back there staying on the ground, and we're just rotating through the hip, trying to bring that knee up off the ground. Don't worry if you're not getting too far. I'm not getting too far either. A little less than I expected from myself today, but that's all right. All right, guys, one more good one. Bring that knee all the way up as high as you can comfortably, and then back down nice and controlled. All right, great work, everybody. We're gonna move on to the other side. So whatever leg you started with in front, we're gonna switch that leg over so it is now on the side. And so just like before, we're gonna try and stay nice and tall, nice and square to this front leg, and then keep our back foot on the ground as that knee starts to come up. We're gonna rotate through the hips, bring that knee up, and then rest it back down on the ground. So let's do a few of these. Trying to bring that knee up a little bit, then back down. Notice if you find yourself kind of squirming or struggling to stay tall, that's all right. Just something we have to work on in the future and stay consistent with in order to make real change. Good work, guys, good work. Just trying to rotate through the hips here. Keep the tummy tight, that'll help with the stability. All right, 2 more. Here we go. Last 2. Open up. All right, last one. See how far we can go. Good work, everybody. Slowly let that knee down. Beautiful. All right, you guys can come out of that position if you'd like. I know that's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but that's all the time I have left for this stretch break. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to check out, we have 2 new mini classes that are actually being both taught by me. So 7 a.m. it's sports performance and mindset reset. And then we have at noon, functional fitness Friday and guided breathing. I'm teaching both of those classes tomorrow. Would love to see you guys there. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Let's see what did Brittany put it in the chat.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
waking me up.
Bye-bye.
You guys are great. Take care. Have a good rest of your day.